Millions of low information runners are literally falling for thousands of shrewd, know-nothing coaches around the world. Those coaches are teaching the pose method of running and similar chi running gravity method that does not allow you to stride. Everything is wrong with their method. They teach runners to have a fixed stance. The stance has a straight line without any bends in the entire body, shoulder to ankle. That fixed posture can only be done standing vertically in place, but they want you to slant that posture forward and not stride to run. Every person strides to walk, jog, run, and sprint, so nobody in the whole world runs with the pose or chi method. How can thousands of coaches teach millions of runners around the world a fixed angle gravity method that would make you fall down to the ground? They can scam people because there wasn't a workable method known by experts that could prove them wrong. There is now. Me, Jack Nirenstein. A fixed off-balance angle does not permit you to stride. You can now see that everyone strides to walk, run, and sprint. The pictures they show of a champion is them posing for a still snapshot. The pose and similar chi running method gives you one angle to run at, and they tell you anything that deviates from that angle is a fault. In a stride, the rotation of the leg around the grounded foot has numerous angles from touchdown to takeoff. They want you to believe that there is a drastically different way to run than your method. Your method is correct. It just needs a lot of refinements. You can only run one way, but you can have bad posture, hurt your joints, have poor choice of body angles for producing speed. Here is the right way to run. He is running at the top speed of the treadmill, number 12, which is a 5-minute per mile pace. Notice that he is running with very wide strides because the speed forces the feet to spread apart. Everybody runs with similar strides. Here is a computerized study of running mechanics from various angles. Champions running close together have similar looking strides. They angle their bodies similarly against the vertical line of gravity during the strides. The pose method of the fixed slant proves his scam is a sly way. He shows a still photo of a champion runner in a fixed slant like the pose slant. He then claims the champion runs with his fixed slant pose method. The champion's video proves differently. He runs with strides like everyone else. I cannot see how he and his coaches can get millions of runners to believe such an obvious scam. Falling is the first thing the baby does when trying to walk. The fall with gravity takes the baby falling down to the ground at first. The first instinct the baby has is wrong. It is to keep the body in a straight line going from shoulder to hip to ankle, to lean forward that way. The baby keeps falling down to the ground until its instincts has it striding, the natural way to walk, jog, run, and sprint. Everybody strides because there is no other way to move about on your legs. The pose and similar tree method of running is not a method anyone can run with. It is the first thing a baby tries, which is leaning without striding and falling down to the ground. You can never see the pose and chi coaches and students running without striding. The feet keep taking turns, landing forward on the ground and taking off the ground behind. Your instincts taught you a limited number of balancing details to help you run with speed. Using balance without trying to push is another thing you need to learn to keep you relaxed. Tai Chi mysticism, as in Chi running, is not a tangible method you can understand. The lean does not involve shoulders slanted forward. Doctors tell you it is bad posture for running. The lean that moves you is the body center at the waist. You can run backward with the forward slanted shoulders. There is no pulling up the foot in running. The foot is left behind when the body moves fast forward. Momentum then flips the foot farther back and high. Hello, my name is Jack Nirenstein, and I had a lot of trouble when I learned to run. I started running after the age of 50, and I'm 85 and a half right now. And I was trying to figure out how to make myself run faster and easier. I saw so many people running a lot faster and easier than I was doing, and so I was working out just on a logical basis. I was doing the opposite things: striding long, striding short, jumping high, staying low. And then when I tried pushing myself forward as hard as I could to run faster, and then I tried not pushing myself at all, I found that I was running so much easier with not pushing at all. And it was obvious that something was pulling me forward, and I figured out that it's got to be gravity that's pulling me forward, because I'm not pushing myself forward and I'm going forward easier and faster. And then I learned through the years a lot more things that made me a lot more efficient, and I felt it was necessary to pass that on to the world, because I thought I had something spectacular. And as a matter of fact, some prominent people agree with me when they hear my method. The President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports wrote that it was insightful for beginner and experienced runners. A four-time U.S. national champion runner, Jody Hawkins, wrote that my method will be the wave of the future. Look, see, everybody's been looking their whole life at runners and never saw the method that everyone must use, or they cannot walk, jog, run, or sprint. Yet it is simple to see, as what gets tossed up must come down. Walking, jogging, running, and sprinting are a transition of going from slow to very fast. You learned to shift your weight as a baby. First you were holding on to something, and then you let go and shifted your weight, and gravity moved you forward. But you were never conscious of that it's gravity and that your strides are off balance. You never realized that shifting your weight off balance is what made you move forward, and you were never conscious of the fact that only gravity could make you run, and the more off balance you stand, the faster you run. You get a harder pull from gravity. You need to speed up on the treadmill by dropping your feet behind your waist, which is your center of weight. When you bend your body forward, it does nothing to move you, or bend it back, it does nothing to move you. If you shift the weight, you have to move forward. Now, the only way you could speed up is by dropping your feet behind your waist. And each step gets faster than the previous step. That way, you can only speed up by dropping your feet behind your waist. Your body could be vertical or even leaning back, but you have to drop your feet behind your waist. Now, after you speed up, you have to go into a steady pace, and a steady pace you change by dropping the feet slightly ahead of your waist, and that keeps you at a steady pace. And then to slow down, you have to drop your feet far ahead of your waist, and you're off balance in the opposite direction, and gravity pulls you back to slow you down. And if you keep it dropping out front, you'll even run backwards that way. But so you could see that it's gravity doing all the work by the balance that you place yourself at. If you're off balance, you're going to move. When you stand balanced between your feet, there's no muscles that can move you forward. You can't move forward. You have to shift your weight ahead of your foot in order for gravity to stop moving you, and your strides have to be off balance by being a little bit ahead and going far behind, so that the sum total of the movement is off balance.